Now that our homes are finally created, it is time to place them on our building site. This is a simple home that I will be using to demonstrate how exactly you are going to do that. Make sure that you're aware of the location of your current file. If you're not sure where you have it saved, you can easily click on the Revit menu, Save As, and then Save as a Project, and place it in a location that you can easily find. For example, I have placed mine right on the desktop and I can easily find it that way. Then you are going to switch over to Schoology and download your site file. The site file is an attachment in 237, and you will see that it is a Revit file. Once you download this file, again, make sure you're aware of its location. You will be prompted by Revit that it needs to update to a newer version because this file was originally created with an older version of the Revit program. Again, we have to make sure that your home is fully finished before you can place it on the Revit site. You also have to make sure that you close your home file from Revit. So I'll go ahead and close this file, make sure it is fully done, nothing else is open on here. Now we can go ahead and open our site file. I have placed mine on the desktop for convenience. I'll go ahead and open this file. As it loads for my appropriate Revit version, we can see that there's quite a few details already on the site. We can see our streets. If we zoom in, we can also see the elevation on here. Note that this is the actual elevation for the site, meaning if I were to see it in 3D view, my site is actually at 769 feet topography. As I zoom in, we can see that there's quite a few details added on here. Not only do we have the streets, we have a little bit of a sidewalk added as well. We have some electric poles added. We have quite a few components. I'm going to go back to the floor plan. You are opening the Habitat for Humanity site floor plan. Other than that, we also see that our lines have been added as well, so that we can easily show how exactly we plan on connecting to those utility lines. All right, it is time to bring our house in. First, it would be helpful to add our setback lines. That way we can ensure that our house is actually placed in its legal description. To add our setback lines on this file, we are going to go to Annotate, and we'll be adding some detailed lines. So let's go ahead and add some guiding lines. To add these lines, again, I'm clicking on Detail Line, Building Line is selected. I will go ahead and place my starting point right on the sidewalk. I do like to be zoomed in a little bit more. I'm going to place the starting point right on the sidewalk, sort of locking it in place, and I'll extend that line. Even if you did not measure it to exactly 25 feet, remember that you can always select this line and then adjust its length to be 25 feet. Please be careful when you make that adjustment. For me right now, it actually moved the beginning point of the line, so you have to make sure that you place it back to start at the sidewalk, or as close to it as possible. I'm going to place the exact same lines from all directions down on the side. I am going to measure out detail line. I'm going to start from the sidewalk, and this time I will actually pay attention to my line to be exactly 25. Might have to zoom in for that. 25. Hit escape so that you can go over to the other side. Remember on the east, our distance is supposed to be just 10 feet. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go out 10 feet. Escape. And one more line to add. Up on the north end, I'm going to add a detail line. I start from the top and I go down 25 feet. Now that we have added all of these guiding lines, we can go ahead and add the lines for our actual setback lines. Our goal is to form a rectangle. So actually I can go ahead and use my rectangle feature for a building line. Now the hard part here is I need to pick up an intersection of both of my guiding points. I will place one end in the upper left corner and one end on the bottom right corner. So click here once, and then when I drag it out, I have to make sure that I link to my guiding lines. I should be linking with both of these guiding lines. There it is. Again, the original measurements that we placed here are need to be deleted. They are not a part of our final map, so we are going to delete them. That's it. We have our setback lines. We're ready to go ahead and place our house, making sure that we will be placing it within the setback lines. We're going to click on Insert, and we are inserting a link to our Revit file. Link Revit. Now go ahead and browse to where you have saved your house. My house is right on the desktop, and I can go ahead and select it, hit open. This shows me where my house is currently placed. Certainly I can rotate the house. It appears a little funny because it is removing the roof as you look at it from above. I can rotate my house on its location if I want to. So select the house, and then we're using the rotate feature. For the rotate feature, you are always going to pick a starting point and then the direction that you want to rotate by. So I picked my starting point, I clicked there to place the starting point line, and now I can either rotate in this direction or rotate in counterclockwise direction. For my house, I actually would like to place it oriented this way. That's it. I have placed my house on the site. I have a lot of space here to add a driveway, but let's take a look at the house from the 3D view. We will click on View and then 3D View. Oh, what happened? The house isn't here. Well, remember, what is the elevation of the site? 700 and some feet. What was the elevation of the house? We've added quite a few levels on there. The floor elevation was set at 0. So guess what? Your house is here. It's at 0 feet, while your elevation for your site is at 700 and some feet. We need to move our house up. So this is what we're going to do. Click and drag so you can select your house and then drag it up. I do have to warn you that this is going to move the house a little bit, so it is not going to be located on the exact same location as you placed it originally. Alternatively, if you're patient enough, I'm going to undo this last action. Alternatively, what you could do is select your house again and then use the arrow keys to move it up. That way the orientation of your house is going to remain the same as you are moving it up. Oh, looks like it went too high up. Now I can go ahead and zoom in so I can get in a little bit more detail. I just remembered this, my house doesn't even have stairs on it, so it is going to look like it is floating up in the air. I will go ahead and move it down a little bit. What you guys want to do is ensure that you zoom in to the side that has your stairs and then adjust the level. Now that we're zoomed in, we can also see that our site indeed has this slope that we've been talking about that is going to allow for water drainage. All right, this looks a little better. I know it looks like the house is going through the site, but as you adjust the view that you're looking at it from, you will see that it looks a little better. Now, again, this house is linked. If you were to make any changes to your original house at this point, they might not be reflected on your site. So please be careful with that. I prefer that you are fully finished with your house before you place it on the site. Okay. What are the next steps? We need to work on driveway. Preferably we add a little bit of landscape so we can add a little bit of privacy to our homeowners. And that will finish our site. You are also creating a printout. So let's scroll down. You will see that a site plan has already been created for us. A sheet has already been created for us. Go ahead and open that site plan. We already have the legend for all of our utility lines. Now we can see our house is on here as well. We will be printing our PDF sheet after we've added a driveway and some landscape.